On this episode of Legends, we are going to talk about the Vanishing Hitchhiker. As we all know, an urban legend is a humorous or horrific story circulated as though to be true because a similar situation can happen to anyone. This situation is portrayed in the Vanishing Hitchhiker.
So imagine you're driving down a dark, secluded road at night, and you picked up a hitchhiker, and then all of a sudden they just disappeared. Well, this is exactly what happens in the legend of the Vanishing Hitchhiker. One night, a boy and his friends were on their way to a dance. They noticed a girl on the side of the road, so they stopped and asked her if she wanted a ride. She asked them to take her home, but they said they were on their way to the dance, and they invited her to come with them. So the girl came with them, and on the way to the dance, she got cold, so she borrowed one of the boys' coats. After a night of dancing, the girl asked them to take her home. After they dropped her off, one of the boys realized that she had kept the coat. So the next morning, the boys returned to the girl's house to get the jacket. The elderly mother opened the door, and the boys explained the whole situation. And the elderly woman informed them that the girl was in fact the daughter, however, she had died 12 years ago. She had been in a car accident in the exact same place where the boys had picked her up. The boys didn't believe her, so they went to the cemetery where the woman said her daughter was buried. They found the girl's grave and saw the boy's coat draped over the headstone. The girl's date of death was exactly 12 years ago to the day.
This is only one version of the Vanishing Hitchhiker legend. However, there are numerous other versions that follow the same basic convention. They usually consist of a male motorist who picks up a lonely hitchhiker who is usually a young female.
In most versions, the driver usually lends the hitchhiker an item, such as clothing or money. In other versions, the hitchhiker leaves something behind in the car of the driver. Both of these situations result in the driver having to go back and find the hitchhiker at a later date. In some versions, the hitchhiker will just tell the driver a fortune rather than leaving or borrowing an item.
On reaching the destination, the hitchhiker usually vanishes in the car. Sometimes she vanishes after she is already being dropped off. When the driver goes to return or obtain the item, he explains why he is there and sees an image of the girl, which confirms that he is in the right location. After hearing the explanation, the owner tells him that the girl has been dead for a number of years. The last convention consists of the driver going to the cemetery and he finds the item on the girl's tombstone.
The modern version of the Vanishing Hitchhiker dates back to the turn of the 20th century. There are also older versions that date back even further. One of the first Vanishing Hitchhiker stories is in the New Testament, Acts 8:26 through 8:39. It describes an Ethiopian driving a chariot who picks up Peter. The Apostle Philip baptizes him and then disappears.
This legend has been told throughout the centuries, but is believed not to be true because there aren't any evidence to back up the claims made in this story. At the same time, there are several reasons why this urban legend is believed to be true. This scenario can happen to anyone and is just plausible enough to believe.
That's all for this episode of Legends. Join us again next week. Have a good one.